What's going on, everybody? It is the Absolute Answer. Nick Cutler, personal trainer, professional wrestler, amateur bodybuilder, OnlyFans model, Fit Dad, MTS Nutrition, Tiger Fitness affiliate. My hat is crooked. I don't like that. That's better, rocking that swag. Get your... Jim Cornette once called me a no-good shit weasel, so we made a t-shirt about it. And any other design of mine that you find appealing at ProWrestlingTees.com/Cutler Coalition. And you can flex just like me. So check it out, guys. Let's get the preamble out of the way first. Everybody knows when I do these videos, I live stream to Facebook. And then I go ahead and I upload it to YouTube. So for those of you that are catching this video on YouTube, don't mind me when I start responding to people who might be commenting on it. I'm not fucking... I mean, I am nuts, but, you know, it's not because of that whole thing. Follow me on all forms of social media. That is Nick Cutler on Facebook, Absolute Answer on Instagram, Cutler Coalition on Twitter, and CUTLER8869 on Snapchat. Whew. OnlyFans, Absolute Answer. OnlyFans.com/Absolute Answer. Merchandise at ProWrestlingTees.com/Cutler Coalition. Supplementation at TigerFitness.com using my personal affiliate link located in the bio of all of my social media platforms, as well as in the description of this video if you're catching it on YouTube. If you can't find it, just ask for it. Got no issues with helping you all out. And instant message me on any one of my social media platforms for information about my personal training and online coaching services. I might talk a little fast and a little loud right now, A, because I'm pretty happy and excited because I enjoy the little things in life, B, because I am getting ready to go do cardio after I shoot this video, and had myself a scoop of Sniper from MTS Nutrition. You guys caught my review of Sniper. I do enjoy the effects that I got of it. You guys saw in the last video that I can't really give you a review on the effects when I was just now drinking it and I hadn't worked out yet, but I do enjoy it. And I actually, this is a 2-scoop serving, 250 milligrams of caffeine per 2 scoops. I only took 1 scoop of it today. Slammed it all down just because I don't really need 2 scoops when I'm getting ready to go do cardio. I just wanted a little bit of caffeine for a kick. And it works fantastically, guys. So I can't wait to try the strawberry lemonade and the orange mango flavor. Get that at my Tiger Fitness affiliate link. $34.99 for 20 servings. It's good shit, guys. So, for those of you that have been following me, you guys know my story. The week of Thanksgiving, I found myself in the hospital. Ended up being an overnight stay for blood clots that they found in my calf and in my right lung. Luckily, we'll skip the preamble, yada, yada, yada. You guys know that story. The clots were small enough where they didn't have to operate or do anything to actually remove them. The ones that were in my lungs were so small that air had been just circulating right past them, so I didn't even really know how long they had been there. I have no chest pains. I have no issues with breathing, etc., etc., etc. I wouldn't have even known that I had the blood clots if my calf hadn't have started becoming incredibly painful when I was trying to walk. The pain in my calf is completely gone. I am on blood thinners to ensure the prevention of future clotting, and to ensure, and my body in and of itself, sorry guys, I got a client messaging me, that's what that thing was. My body in and of itself will actually break up the clots that I currently have on their own. But going forward, the question was, why did I get this clot? Now, there are a few reasons, guys, and I've always been very upfront and honest with you guys as far as what I do and what I don't do. I'm going to be as honest with you as I feel is necessary at this point, but I'm not going to get into incredible detail as far as why I believe this happened and why my doctor believes that this happened. So my follow-up appointment today with my hematologist went very, very well. The biggest thing that we were concerned with was if I had an underlying medical condition, a blood disease, a blood disorder, that genetically made me predisposed to blood clotting. And we confirmed today that that answer is no. I do not have any sort of blood disease that makes me, puts me at risk for clotting. So then the question becomes, why did this happen? My theory and my doctor does agree with me. There's obviously no way to tell and to prove it, but given the surrounding information that I'm getting ready to give you guys, my doctor does agree with me. As you guys know, I am a professional wrestler. And as you guys know, I also competed in my first bodybuilding show this year. I don't know that I've ever admitted this publicly, but I use performance-enhancing drugs. I believe that it is a personal choice whether somebody does or doesn't use performance-enhancing drugs. I don't vilify people for wanting to be natural. I do not vilify people for not wanting to be natural. In my opinion, certain things like that, steroid usage to me falls under the same category as marijuana or as alcohol or as cigarettes. What somebody does or doesn't do with their body is their own personal decision. As long as you are not causing harm to other people, it shouldn't be anybody else's business what you do. It doesn't matter what you or anybody else does. As long as you're not causing me harm, as long as you're not causing other people harm, it should be no big deal. And obviously with being a professional wrestler, there is a heavy emphasis on personal appearance. So I made that personal decision back when I was 20 years old to start using steroids. I have used them off and on throughout the years. Sometimes coming completely off, sometimes being on for extended periods of time, etc., etc., etc. Since I was 29 years old, I have been on testosterone, at least 250 milligrams a week. Why? Because the usage that I did in my 20s was not always done responsibly. I feel I should probably interject right now. I am not a doctor. I am not giving medical advice. I do not condone and or condemn the use of performance-enhancing drugs or any other drugs for that matter. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only, and I am simply telling you my story. And with deciding to actually compete in bodybuilding and wanting to actually be competitive in bodybuilding, I made the decision to do more than just testosterone. So I started my prep for my show in December of 2019. My show was originally supposed to be in May of 2020. That show got canceled, so then I was scheduled to compete in July of 2020. That show got moved from July to October. So rather than having a typical 4-month bodybuilding prep, I ended up having a 10-month bodybuilding prep. And during those 10 months, I was on a lot of androgens and a lot of different performance-enhancing compounds to get my body where I wanted it to be come time for me to perform. One of the side effects of performance-enhancing drugs, as many of you may or may not know, is an increase in red blood cells and increased coagulation elements inside your blood. What does that mean? You have a higher red blood cell count and your blood becomes thicker, which puts you at more of a risk for something like a blood clot. How can you remedy that? I give blood. There is a blood drive at the office that I work at, and when I was actually in the office, I would give blood every 8 to 12 weeks because a blood drive would actually come to our office and I would get paid to give blood. So that is how I would try to remedy and mitigate this side effect, is just by giving blood every 8 to 12 weeks. Blood starts to get too thick, red blood cell starts to get too high, get rid of some frickin' blood. Problem solved. And I've never had any sort of issues. Again, I've been using since I was 20. I am now 32, so 12 years off and on, and I've never had any sort of issues until now. 2020 rolls around, we get moved from working in the office to working from home. So, number one, I haven't given blood in actually over a year at this point. Number two, Since my bodybuilding prep went from a 4-month prep to a 10-month prep, I was on a lot more than I would normally use and for a lot longer than I would normally use it for. When you combine those two factors, I believe that led to me becoming even more prone to the blood clot, and I believe that that is what caused it. And speaking with my physician, he absolutely agreed that that is probably what caused me to have the clot. There was no injury, there was no disease, it was simply me not taking care of myself while doing something that I have personally chosen to do. And I was given a warning, really, a wake-up call, because the situation could have been a lot worse than it actually ended up being. And I thank God that it wasn't, and I thank God that my wife made me go and get looked at instead of allowing me to be stubborn and just try to wait it out, because it could have been a lot worse. I could have died. And I'm very glad that I didn't. Now, that being said, also discussing with my physician, I really like this doctor. He looked at me and he said, well, obviously you know that as a physician I cannot recommend and or condone what you are doing to yourself. But I can obviously tell just from the little bit of conversation that I've had with you that your bodybuilding career and your professional wrestling career is very important to you. So I don't foresee this as something that I am going to talk you out of doing. And he's absolutely right. And he said, okay, so what we need to do is work on mitigating and preventing this from happening again, and you doing what you're doing and as safely as you can. And I completely agree. So I have found a local blood drive that I can go to right here close to my home. I'm going to be giving blood at least every 8 to 12 weeks. I'm going to have a reminder put in my phone to make sure I can go schedule it and get it done. I will be on blood thinners until at least February. And I have a follow-up appointment with my physician in February to check my blood, make sure that my red blood cell count is down, and we can move forward from there as far as whether I need to stay on blood thinners or whether I need to continue on them for some time. I do not say no to drugs, absolutely. I do not condone nor do I condemn the use of performance-enhancing drugs or any other drug for that matter. If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. If you want to drink alcohol, drink alcohol. If you want to go to McDonald's and have 2 McDoubles and a McChicken on a daily basis, because food is a fucking drug, people. And if you choose to do that to yourself, then that is entirely on you. There are a lot unhealthier things that I could be doing with myself. Again, I don't condemn or condone. I simply aim to help entertain and to potentially educate people so they can make their own choices. I would never expect anybody to do what I do, and I don't expect anybody else to look at me and try to condemn me for what I do, just like I would not condemn them. So that is that, folks. Another side note. So moving away from that, you guys saw my video a few days ago that I put out about Greg Doucette and Mark Lobliner and their little Twitter beef. And I mentioned yesterday that, YouTube beef. I mentioned yesterday that Mark Lobliner had actually taken down his video where he gave ridiculous made ridiculous outlandish claims about Greg Doucette and his career and his criminal background, and was just absolutely slandering Greg's name for no reason whatsoever. And I did put out a defense video for Greg last week. And I just want to give a public shout out because I noticed today that, number one, I woke up and I saw that Greg Doucette had actually commented on my YouTube video. And he thanked me for sticking up for him and giving out good information. And I enjoy the little things in life, Some people look at me as a relatively small celebrity or social public figure, whatever. That's cool. I'm just a dude, in my opinion. But Greg Doucette's one of my favorite bodybuilders and one of my favorite YouTube personalities. So for him to reach out to me personally and tell me thank you, I thought was really cool. Then it went beyond that. I went to my YouTube because I like to keep track of my numbers and my views and so on and so forth. And I saw that the video that where I was talking about Greg and sticking up for him had gotten like 400 views in under an hour. And a ton of likes, and I had a ton more subscribers than I previously had. And I was like, whoa, what happened? I couldn't explain it myself. And then I went to my Instagram, and I happened to look at Greg Doucette's story, and he didn't say anything to me that he was going to do it or anything of that nature. He just screenshot my YouTube video and attached the link to his own Instagram story and was having his followers swipe up and watch my video. I thought that was really cool. I appreciate gestures like that. More people should go out of their way to try to help and elevate others, and that was just a cool move on his part. So if you happen to catch this one, Greg, thank you very much for that shout out. Thank you very much for the push. It's greatly appreciated. That's all from me right now, guys. I'm going to go do some cardio. Again, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. Do with this information what you choose to do with it. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I am not giving any sort of advice as far as whether you should or should not do performance-enhancing drugs or any other drugs for that matter. I'm just simply here telling you my story. Do what is right for you and your life. Be good to yourselves and each other, and stay color strong.